I was introduced as Patricia Hsieh. So who is Patricia Hsieh? Patricia Hsieh is an immigrant. English is her second language. She was a stay-at-home mother in order to improve the quality of the life for her family. She returned to school, and to pay for her tuition and support her family, she became one of those re-entry women and worked one full-time job, two part-time jobs, attending school full-time, and taking care of her family with two little ones. And her family has always been her greatest inspiration. They inspired her to complete her doctorate degree within 2 years and 10 months. She broke the university record. However, this journey is not unique. This is a journey of many California community college students, including those students at Hartnell. They face so many challenges. In the meantime, they try to accomplish their educational goal. That's why Patricia Hsieh has dedicated her professional life to help those students in the community college to achieve their dream. In the past 28 years, she has worked for California community colleges. She was a faculty member, taught online and on-ground classes. She was a student services professional, served as an international student advisor, articulation officer, and transfer center. She also held progressively responsible administrative positions. In the past 14 years, she has been the president at San Diego Miramar College, a college with over 16,000 student enrollment from very diverse backgrounds serving diverse communities. Since 2014, the college has grown for 5 consecutive years and was recognized as one of the top fastest growing colleges in the nation. In 2005, when Patricia Hsieh arrived at her current campus, there were only 2 permanent buildings. The rest of the campus were filled with portables. And in 2007, working with the entire college, the college started implementing its facilities master plan with a $345 million bond measure supported by the community. In 2016, the college completely transformed its teaching, learning, and service delivery facilities. And the community today keep asking the college, when are you going to become a 4-year university? However, the college is not just focusing on enhancing facilities. It's very important. It's not just continue to getting more students provided access. The college also has been delivering impressive student outcome. For example, in 17 and 18, the college increased its degree awards by 5% and certificate awards by 34%, and associate degree in transfer by 57%. This year, on top of that, the college increased additional 15% of associate degree delivery and awards, and 29% of certificate awards, as well as 35% of associate degree in transfer awards. And it was named as one of the top 50 degree award institution for minority students. Why does it happen? Because in 2015, the college started implementing a student experience focused integrated planning framework focused on students and their experience and to redesign everything we do on campus. So in 2017, the college received a statewide planning award. In that same year, the college also received the accreditation reaffirmation 7 years with no compliance recommendation. In 2018, the proud campus worked together and achieved our 10,000 FTES enrollment target 1 year ahead of our schedule. This year, we were recognized by the State Chancellor's Office and received the Gold Award for placing our digital technology students into the field of their study with living wages. And it is also this year, Patricia Hsieh was really very fortunate with the support from the community, endowed to work with the foundation, endowed 2 scholarships for the college and to benefit students. And also, Patricia Hsieh had the greatest honor with the support from the industry partners to name a college building and received $1.27 million and to basically benefit our diesel technology program. Now, as a college president, how does Patricia Hsieh operate? Patricia Hsieh is a student-centered. As mentioned earlier, she implemented the student-focused planning framework to ensure resources are allocated to address student access and success by closing a student achievement gap. She is collaborative. She promotes teamwork and thrives on building teams. She strives to create a college culture that is inclusive, effective, and supportive to achieve inclusive excellence. She enjoys working in a collegial and collaborative environment by supporting and practicing shared governance or participatory governance. She is innovative. She always champions innovations in the classroom, service delivery, and using technology to ensure the excellent instruction, the top-notch services, and effective operations to facilitate teaching, learning, and working. She is passionate about what she does every day, that is to support her students to be successful. She has wonderful communication and interpersonal skills, plus she is a great listener because she went through the counseling training. She used to be a counselor. She has been able to develop the trust and mutual respect with individuals she works every day. They all come from very diverse backgrounds. Patricia Hsieh wants to share a story with you. About a month ago, she was invited to be a guest speaker to celebrate the graduation of students in the EOPS program, Extended Opportunity and Service Program. I know that you also have the similar program to support the low-income student, first-generation college attendees. And of course, during her speech, Patricia congratulated all those graduates and thanked the staff member, all those family members and friends, loved ones that support the graduates. Patricia Hsieh also shared her personal journey as I shared with you earlier. At the end of her speech, she received a standing ovation. People came to her, shake her hands, hug her, and told her that her speech really inspired them. Because now they see an ethnic female with a background very similar like them became the college president. They said, now we know we can achieve a lot more, which we have never thought about it. And this is Patricia Hsieh, what she does every day to encourage, to inspire her students to dream big and to be whatever they want to be. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Patricia Hsieh. This is me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First question, how do you connect with students in your role as a senior administrator, and how can students connect and communicate with you?
Thank you. Communication is really both ways. And communication, of course, there's many formats. Most of the time we do this through email. For students, we put the information on the Facebook. We use other social media such as Twitter, Instagram as well. But I think one form very important is in-person connection. And thank you. And to make sure that the student, they have the opportunity to expose different connections at the state, the local level. When I represent the college to do advocacy, even at the local level or state level, I always take students with me. For example, this past January, I was at Sacramento to participate in the CCLC, which is a Community College League for Innovation, the annual conference, and I had a student with me. So they were able to talk to the local state level representative during that particular occasion. They were able to model those successful legislators and to help them develop a different perspective and learn the skills. I also attend our associate student government meeting on a regular basis to provide updates. For example, when the DACA issue became a challenge for all of us, I actually went to the meeting and helped students understand the college's position and policy to ensure students feel safe to continue to come to campus. And I know that a lot of students, they were invisible even prior to the DACA issue became a challenge for us. So what I told the student at that particular meeting, I said, please let your friends know, please let the families you know, they are in the same kind of situation, what the college is doing at this point. We assigned a special counselor, and I introduced the counselor to the students at the meeting so they can make a face-to-face connection. I also told them that we scheduled various workshops for students, and no media will be allowed at those workshops to provide privacy and to make sure students were safe. We also coordinated with the local legal services to provide complimentary legal assistance to students, and I told them when this would be and where the location would be, and it's also private, it's not open to the public. So make sure students understand those type of things. And of course, we put that information on the website as well, put it on the social media. Because a lot of students, they don't have access to desktop or they are not interested in doing that, but almost everybody has a phone. So that becomes another way for us to communicate. And I also support the students' extracurricular activities. You know, we have quite a few intercollegiate sports teams on campus to make sure that the student life is being enriched, support the student club, and make sure that they also have an opportunity to develop their leadership skills. I also visit classrooms from time to time if I were invited by the faculty member, because I do want to respect the faculty member, their teaching priority as well. If I get that chance, which I do, faculty member welcome me to the classroom. I will talk to students, you know, the opportunity if they are interested in becoming a leader and how, you know, I can assist them. I do have open hours every Tuesday afternoon. I do have staff member and students coming to stop by to talk with me. And I also make sure that I hear students' needs firsthand. So on the first day of each semester, during that first week, first day, I always serve on the information counter because we have different spots on campus to assist a student, in particular new student, when they come to campus and they are not familiar with the college in terms of needs. And one thing I learned is we have a one-stop student center, and when students come to this building, they can get all the student services, including go to the admissions office and the student accounting office. You know, one thing big, very important for students is how to get the parking permit, right? So thanks to the technology, when students come into information counter, I tell the student, I say, since you are here, you have two options. One is you can, you know, go to REG, which is the electronic registration system. Use your phone and to purchase, pay by credit card, okay? If you don't have a credit card, but you have cash, then you can go upstairs, the second floor, the accounting office, and buy a parking permit there. The next question is, okay, if I purchase online or I go upstairs, where should I go to pick up my parking decal? In the past, you know, students have to walk all the way. By the way, I have 125 acres. It's a huge campus. Across the campus, from one side to the other side, to the college police to pick up that parking decal. And after I observed that for the one particular semester, I actually talked to staff through my VP. I said, could you please contact the campus police and see if they can just bring a terminal and a printer next to the information counter. So if the student in front of the person helping them, in my case it's me, then they go online to purchase the parking permit. They can pick up the parking decal right there. And that happened. So now it's a student, the person in front of me, they go to the phone, next thing, they pick up and print it out, that's done. So that is very important. I also make sure that I interact students with different committee settings because I also serve some committees. Almost all the committees, we have student representation. The other thing very important is annually we do a planning summit. And this is the way for the entire campus to come together to talk about what our agenda is for the next year, to review the progress of our strategic plan and how that pair up with the integrated planning framework I mentioned to you earlier to continue to assess what we are doing and making ongoing assessment. I encourage students to speak up. I said the reason we are doing all this is not for anybody else. It's for whom? It's for students. So I want to hear from you, what are the good things we are doing, because all the staff members are working very hard. They need to have a pat on the back. But on the other hand, and more importantly, so what are the things you think as a student you want to see happen, but it hasn't happened? Or even though it happened, you think it can be done better? And through that opportunity, we get a student's input. So a lot of times people will say, don't worry about it. They will tell you, they will collect information, then they just go to the black hole. But that's not what we do on our campus. We actually collect the information, we compile it, and then we send it to the entire campus, including those students. They attend our meeting. Then we give this to each vice president, and they're supposed to include it in their division plan, because each vice president, we call that our unit organization is division. Then put it into their division plan and start making sure that we apply the resources and address those issues. One example, let me give it to you. I have a very extensive career technical education program. We have automotive, we have diesel technology, we have fire technology, we also have aviation and biotech program. So aviation student as well as my fire technology program, they normally don't end the class until 10. I have a wonderful cafeteria on campus, but the cafeteria closes at 7 p.m. I also have a convenience store like Starbucks, but they close at 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. So what happened is that when a student, they come out from the class at 10, San Diego can be cold in the evening, okay? And students want something hot. They want something which is more nutritious rather than junk food, potato chips. They don't have access. They didn't have access. Now they have. Because that's one of the feedback we got. So we got this food mart. I don't know if you have seen this. This is just like a vending machine, but it can start from the wall, that side to this side, cover the entire wall. We put inside the student services, and that building will not close until 11 p.m. every day. And inside we have sandwich, we have more nutritious food, we even have a vegan food, and next to it we have a hot water machine, we even have coffee, and students can make coffee themselves. Then we have packaged soup, then students can use the hot water and to make soup. So that is one of the examples. We listen to students, then we implement student-focused and student-centered services on our campus. And that's just some examples how I connect with students. And in terms of how students connect with me, like I said, it's two-way. When they see that I'm very visible on campus because I manage by walking around. I don't wear my heels on my campus. I wear a pair of tennis shoes because I also provide a lot of in-person campus tour to community people to share with them the great things we are doing on our campus. So students see me a lot. They know me. And even when I walk across the campus, people will say, "Hey, President." A lot of times it's harder to pronounce my last name. It is an interesting last name. By the way, it's my husband's name. It's not my name. Okay? So don't blame me. So they just call me. They said, "Oh, President Patricia." Or sometimes they just call me Patricia, So it's a very close relationship, and I want to thank you for asking this question first, because the students are the reason why we're here. Thank you.
Thank you. What is your philosophy of budget management? What % of the general funds should be held in reserve?
Well, according to the state requirements, is 5% that you have to put into reserve. But as a college, or I should say, because if you know, I actually work for San Diego Community College District. We are a multi-college district. We have 3 colleges, and my college is one of the colleges. So on my college, the district is responsible for 4%. But at my college, we normally keep a little bit over. And the reason is I'm very conservative, and I'm very proud to say in the past 14 years, because we engaged the entire campus, including those very difficult and challenging years, some of you perhaps remember, 2008 to 2013, workload reduction. And as a small college in those days, we're no longer small. We were not just being cut, we were bleeding. And our students couldn't even finish their certificate degree or transfer requirement. They had to go to our sister college in order to do that. That tells you how challenging it was. So we learned our lesson, but even in those 5 days, our college's budget has always been in black. And this is on top of all the growth I mentioned to you. So it tells you we are very, very productive. But let me go back in terms of philosophy. One thing very important is it's always engage faculty member through very clear communication, in particular when it is a challenging time. Because when it's challenging, it is very frustrating to everybody, and everyone needs to know what's really going on. And always we are reminded we remind ourselves the reason why we're here is our mission. So my top priority is always reinforce why we're here, focus on our mission, focus on our students. So when time is difficult, we have to do budget reduction. We always engage everybody in a conversation, and we agree we will always protect the integrity of our program, our services, and to support student access and success through an equity lens. So my staff members know that I certainly can manage the budget. It is very easy to reduce budget in a sense, but they all understand. I do understand there are students in the program. They need the services, and we have staff members, they care about our students. So under those kind of circumstances, I always leverage my relationships at the state level, at the local level, sometimes even at the federal level, first to do advocacy. For example, currently we have the new funding formula that advocacy at the state level is so critical. But more importantly, try to explore any possibilities to bring in additional resources to support our priority on campus. Always focus on our mission, always focus on our students, engage the entire campus in a dialogue, and make sure the communication is always very clear. Those are the keys in order to keep the stability, the financial stability of the institution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How did you reach out to and seek to understand the predominantly Hispanic, Latino majority community in the Sweetest Valley?
Well, regardless what is the specific ethnicity is, again, I'm going to say, communication, relationship building is really the key to develop your connection and to enhance your working relationship with any ethnic group or with the community. Let me give an example. On my campus, I mentioned we serve very diverse population. We have a high percentage of Filipino students. We have very high percentage of students from Middle Eastern countries. We have a lot of Korean students. We have a high percentage of Latinx students as well. And it's very, very mixed African American student as well. So it's very, very mixed. When I arrived at my campus 14 years ago, my chancellor, whom I report to, gave me 5 charges. And one of the charges is to reach out to the community and make sure you develop a good relationship with the community. Why? Remember, I mentioned earlier, when I arrived at campus, the campus only had how many permanent buildings? 2. The community actually was very embarrassed. They drove by every day. They didn't even want to pay attention. They didn't know what was inside. I remember the first few months when I went to the community, tried to reach out, introduce myself. I pull out my business card and I give the person I was interacting, and the person will look at us and say, "Oh, Miramar College, where is this? Is this a 2-year, 4-year private university?" We were in a community. I was in a community. And nobody knew about the community. Has a college there. Why? That tells you a lot. Within the first year, guess what? I was very well known in that community. Even today, let me tell you a story. When I arrived there 2 weeks into my position, one of my staff came to me, very upset. Says, now we are going to start our facilities master planning implementation. Because before, the student enrollment was very low. We have 125-acre, 2 permanent buildings. So the rest is what? Vacant land, right? I have a police academy, and the police, when they do their training, is emergency vehicle operation. So they run over the campus, all over the place. Okay, you will see this cone, orange cones there. You're just doing this, practice their skills. So everybody came to the campus. It's a free land, okay? And the community, bless their heart, they tried to form a baseball, a little league team. So they came to campus to practice as well. So when we started doing our implementation, start building infrastructure, we have to clean the field first, clear the field first. So we have to ask this user very diplomatically, very respectfully, says, because now you gave us the money to support us, and we are going to deliver what we told you we're going to do, which is start building, and we need the land. Could you please leave? So this particular, it's easy to say, right? Could you please leave? So this is a Little League person who happened to be the town council president. I learned later. Just ignored it to my staff's communication. By the way, the communication was done by email. And that's the first question I asked. I said, how did you communicate? And the person said, well, I sent a numerous email. I said, is there any other way? Did you pick up the phone or met with person? Oh no, email is good enough. I said, okay, no problem. I said, since I'm new, I'm still in my honeymoon period, why don't you let me take care of this? I said, give me the person's contact information, phone number. So I got on the phone and I found out that the person's first name is Joe Fritchell. So I said, Mr. Fritchell, I said, I'm so-and-so, I'm new to the college. I said, I'd really like to meet with you. I know that you have a wonderful council here, and I just want to have more understanding about how you operate. So I invite him to the campus. So we talk about it. Then I brought up the topic. I said, Mr. Fritchell, you probably know that we just passed a bond measure, and thanks to you and all the voters, and now we're going to start doing our infrastructure. We really need the land, and understanding your team comes in campus to practice every day from this time to this time. We have construction going on. We need help here. He said, no way. We have been here for 20 years. No, we're not going to leave. Understand, no problem. I said, Mr. Fritchell, I said, I really appreciate you and all the other parents, because I know everyone is doing this work voluntarily, okay? You want our kids here to engage in the proper extracurricular activities and help them to develop certain kind of skills when they play baseball. That is admirable. I said, why don't you let me do this? I said, I actually developed this relationship with the mayor. The mayor happened to be one of our police academy graduates. And that's the first thing I did. I introduced myself to the mayor. So I said, let me talk to the mayor. Maybe we can find another location for your team and other parents to train the kids. I said, if that indeed happens, I said, I will make sure that will happen, by the way. I said, could you, do you remind to invite me to one of your town council meeting? Because I really want to present you, your staff, and all those parents as volunteers a plan to thank for your contribution to the community by helping and training all these kids, and also give the college the opportunity to provide the field to support what you do. Of course, he was very delighted. Did I deliver my promise? Of course. I was new. You have to remember that. I have to establish my credibility. And I was able to work with the mayor and his office, and thanks God, he was very supportive. We located a place for them. And as promised, he did invite me to their town council meeting. I presented this plaque, and everybody was very happy. So that was a happy ending and a win-win for everyone. Even up today, we have a joint use facility usage agreement with the city. We have swimming pool. We have 3 swimming pools. One's a competition pool, one's a toddler pool, one is a regular pool. High school kids come in, the team comes in to use our facilities free of charge almost every morning. The city, they put together the program to serve the community. They charge, but we don't get a revenue. That is our service to the city. They only share with us in terms of the facility charge, depending on the percentage, because the major function for the swimming pool is for a swimming class we offer on campus. When it's downtime, the community can come in to use it. There will always be issues and challenges. The temperature of the water is not warm enough, okay? And how come the ground is so wet? It's dangerous. Those are very, very difficult, very real issue. I'm just giving you an example. It's not complaining, but those are real issues. Sometimes something happens and there will be disagreement. So sometimes, you know, I normally don't serve to my level, but staff just try to resolve it. But sometimes people will just copy the college president because they were concerned that their staff member might not, you know, pay attention to it. They don't know my staff well enough. I tell you, they are very responsible. But just in case that happened, they also copy Joe Fritchell because they know Joe know me very well. So Joe will always write back, have you talked to Dr. Hsieh? If you haven't, just talk to her. There will be no problem. So this is just one example in terms of how I outreach the community. So if I were given the opportunity to serve this college as well as community, I will use exactly the same approach, is to start reaching out and to listen to people very carefully. If there's anything which we as a college, we can assist to address, we certainly will be very happy to do that. Because I truly believe as a community college, our responsibilities do not just end with the students coming to our campus. Our community also held us accountable as a source, not just education institution, but as everything happened in this community, whether it's cultural events, whether it's social events, or whether it's anything relates to their daily life. So that a relationship, close relationship, is so important. Now, let me say this. One of the reasons why you have so successful fundraising results, of course, you have brilliant staff, hats off to them, $45 million. But let me ask you the question. What is the other major reason you were able to achieve this amazing goal? Why? Because the community see the value of this college. And because all of you with your leaders have keep that connection very close, listen to people and respond to their needs. And this is my style. If I were given an opportunity, I certainly will continue to do that because I do believe skills skills are transferable, even though it's a different location. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your position on technical career education, including trade education?
Thank you for that question. I have to say this is not bragging, but just tell you my background a little bit. I was the chair of the statewide Economic and Workforce Development Advisory Committee to the Board of Governors to California Community Colleges. This was when I was in Sacramento. I became the interim president of that institution, but even prior to that, when I was the vice president of student services, I played that role. And when I served my first term as the board members with American Association of Community Colleges, which is the AACC, I also chair the Committee for Workforce Development. So I have very extensive background and knowledge about workforce development. I remember when I arrived at my college 14 years ago, my college has quite a few career technical education program. Of course, instead of called a CTE, now we say CE program. And we also have transferable function as well, liberal arts program. I started paying a lot of attention to our career education program at that point. So some of our faculty members, they couldn't understand. They say, well, you know, the career technical education program first, they're not doing well. Secondly, they cost a lot because there's a lot of equipment, right? And versus liberal arts education, transfer education, they generate the most FTES, right? Full-time student equivalent. So when you talk about FTES, that equivalent to what? Funding, right? Even today, even though only 70% of our funding is based on FTES, in those days, 100% was on FTES. So people couldn't understand, and people say, well, she doesn't know what she was doing. You know, she is new. She doesn't know what we're doing. The only reason I was doing that is because my exposure at the state level, at the national level, I knew at that point the money is coming to support the career education program. And earlier you had this question for me, said how do you, what's your philosophy about the budget or finance management? One thing is I do this. Where is the money? I focus on that area and try to see how we can break the funding from that particular area or those areas with the rest to support the entire campus. Because the situation can change. Today is career education. Tomorrow can be transfer education. I've been in the system long enough. So I know this is one of the characteristics of California community colleges budget is what? Unpredictable. You just have to be flexible enough, and you just have to be able to take advantage of what's available to you. So I was able to convince our liberal arts program faculty member, we focus a lot. Sure enough, the money continued to come in, strong workforce money, you name it today. Now, this morning I had the chance to visit your East Campus, also campus, and thanks to Joseph and Mary, they were wonderful tour guide, as well as the staff down there, your assistant in there and her staff, just superb. You know, gave me a tour, thorough tour of that area. Think about that program, of course, you have funding support, but you were able to expand it, for example, get a job placement specialist, which was funded by what? Strong workforce money. Am I correct? So that just tells you, you have to really ride with the wave and make sure that you take advantage when the resources are there and figure out how to benefit. Sometimes you have a restriction. You cannot just use the way it has to be legal. You understand that and be able to benefit everyone. So my position is, of course, that those programs are the signatures program of my campus. Today, I have to say that our automotive program is doing very well. Let me give you several examples. We have the customized program with Toyota, and I know that you are in a process of probably only going to get one. There's only 42 community colleges in the entire 1,200 community colleges has that kind of have that partnership with Toyota. Toyota is very selective. After you have the program, every 6 months they come to your campus. They will measure your performance, just like we do this ongoing assessment. They really do ongoing assessment. They expect your continuous improvement in order to hold that relationship. Whenever those representatives are on campus, I definitely attend those meetings because I want the industry to see that I really support the program. And that means a lot to the industry representative. Okay, and I want to make sure that we always live up to the standard. They are very generous in terms of donating the new cars. I tell you, those new cars are much better than mine. But because we are Toyota, you know, partner, I drive a what? Toyota Corolla, by the way. It's a 2007 Toyota Corolla, okay? And I always tell those representatives, I said, see, not my college, even myself as a college president, I supported Toyota. So, you know, they are all convinced. So anyway, we also have this similar program with Honda. And the beauty of this program is Toyota required all my faculty members to engage in professional development every semester. They have to go to Torrance. Toyota has a university, because before Toyota had this partners with the community college, they provided their own training to their staff member to train the mechanics. Later on, they grew too big. They farmed out with the community college. So my faculty member have to go to the Torrance Toyota University every semester to be certified, because the technology continued to change, right? For example, when the hybrid car first came out, that was tremendous change. They have to come back, and the curriculum is provided by Toyota. So if you haven't gone through the training, you don't know how to teach the curriculum. So that's how they make sure the quality control is there. So when my students graduate from the program, they are industry certified, not just a certificate from us degree, but industry certified mechanics. They can just get a job anywhere with Toyota dealer. So that is a job guarantee. Now, we also have recently, 2 years ago, we developed a partnership with Chrysler Fiat. You know those mini cars? The mini cars sale is going like this. It's not like this way. The sales is so good. There's such demand for mechanics. So when since I served on National Coalition Center for Certification, which is an industry recognized certification, the VP from Chrysler Fiat approached me and said, I want to offer this opportunity to your college. Do you like to participate? I said, to all of you, and this is how I operate, I never say no to any opportunities. So I said it to this vice president. I said, thank you so much for considering us. I said, let me take this proposal, and I will take this back. We will consult with my staff, then I will come back to respond to you. I took this back, I shared it with my vice president, shared with the dean. I said, engage the faculty. I said, faculty, they are the content expert. I said, I don't understand the content. I don't understand car, except I know how to drive my car. So, and they took it because they want us to do the following semester. It's only within 6 months, which is just too fast. So I told my faculty, I said, I'm not saying that we have to do this, but I want you to spend time to evaluate and share your expertise. If we can do this, what are some of the challenges? For example, the timeline, the resources, the facility, you all need to take into consideration. If we're going to say no, you better tell me why it's no. Because I certainly don't want to go back to the industry and say, no, I cannot do this. So you basically shut down the door. In the future, people will never come to you anymore. But if you give them good reason, I will say, oh, this time we really cannot do this because of this, that. But next time, please consider us. So I still keep the door, if not completely open, ajar, right? I still have some opportunity. So our faculty said the first time we needed 2 semesters in order to get this to happen. Second, we have to put in our program review to get the resources. We have the facility identified. We need to start advertising to the potential students says, hey, we are thinking about this program, and what is the potential job outlook for this position, for this training, okay? So I took that, revised the proposal, because my job is to support the staff, to sell. I always say I'm pretty good saleswoman, okay? To sell this to the industry, and Chrysler, they amended to this. So now we have a program. Whenever I go to have visitors to come campus, I mentioned I give them campus tour. I always stop by different programs, in particular all this career technical program, because we have beautiful facility, diesel technology, automotive, all this program, aviation, biotech labs. And I will show, I always ask the faculty, I said, how's everything? You should see the faculty, because this is a part of our general automotive program. It's not customized the Toyota and Honda. In the past, it's almost dying. Now, I will tell you, they have this big smile. It's like, we are doing great, we love it. Now, every semester, we have a wait list, students on the wait list try to get into the program. So that is another example how we work collaboratively with my role is to bring in new ideas, relied on the expertise of my staff member, and be able to, be the spokesperson again to negotiate with the industry and to create a program which will really benefit our students and promise the high demand jobs and with very attractive pay. So in general, my position is career education in today's world, since President Obama came to presidency years ago, he really put the community college under the spotlight, and in those days, I happen still to be associated with American Association of Community Colleges. So when he went to Macomb Community College, indicating that we probably will get $2 million for that, I actually was one of the participants. I understand, that was the time when community college came to age. Even today, we had a little bit of challenge, but in the state level, this is still the top priority for the state. But most importantly, regardless of all this politics, let's think about the students. Whether students they are in the liberal arts program or career education program, eventually they all need a what? A good paid job, a very rewarding career. Yes. So that is my question.
This is going to be the last question, and we've got about 3 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay.
Please share an example of how you have managed and helped resolve a high-profile conflict involving resources, policy, academics, or something similar.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let me give an example. Years ago, we had a tutoring center, and this tutoring center for ages, we didn't have funds to support a full-time tutoring center coordinator, so we always assigned a full-time faculty member to do this. In 2000, I would say 12, toward the end of this economy downturn, we were still struggling, and the person retired. And we tried to revamp this area because the funding situation, and we tried to think about how to revamp this area, make it become efficient and effective. But we all know that we didn't have general fund to support it, and we couldn't afford to release another faculty member to do that because we were really cutting to be bleeding at that point. And I communicated this with the academic senate, and they were very thoughtful. So they tried to help resolve the issue. And in those days, we had some special grant coming. The grants always have its limitation. So to make a long story short, the Senate put forward a proposal. They wanted the college to spend some grant money as reassigned time for 1 year to study the need, whether we really need a full-time tutoring center coordinator. Okay, so that came to me. So when I received that, I invited the Senate President to come in to meet with me. So I told the person, I said, I really appreciate the Senate have been very, very thoughtful to present this proposal. But first, let me clarify. The grant money cannot be used for reassigned time. Cannot do that, okay? And the second thing is, I said that you and I and the faculty know there is indeed a need to have a full-time tutoring coordinator or whatever person, a position to coordinate this services we are envision, which is really a much expanded wrap around the service, including a tutoring component. So I said, why don't you let me do some homework and then we can talk. So I asked my staff member to contact the state chancellor's office where we get a grant and find out if we can actually use this grant to pay for a full-time position, such as a person coordinator tutoring and other support service, academic support services, which is English lab, math lab, so on and so forth. And we were very lucky. The answer was yes, we can do that. So I used that as the basis and started kind of sketch out the timeline. Because with their proposal, they just say if we can use the money to release a faculty position, we have to wait for at least 1 year. Then if the result is yes, we need it, then we need to start to get ourselves ready to start advertise the position. Then probably it's a half a semester. So by the time we have the person come on board, it's 1.5 years since the time we start this process. The one I proposed is we can actually start the implementation immediately, go out for position. Have the Senate be in charge of creating the position, how they perceive the position should be, and what kind of services we need to have by engaging students, engage faculty as well as student service staff. So we can immediately advertise that position the following year because we have to go to the board to create a position. Then the person, if we move fast enough, the person can come on board that following spring. So basically, we will be able to achieve this 1 year ahead of schedule. So I invited the Senate President to meet with me again. I presented a proposal, explained to her the rationale there. I said, what do you think? She said, I think it's feasible. I said, may I ask the Senate exec and to share with them, to get their thoughts, maybe they want to revise it. So I met with them, they all agree. Then I presented this to the entire Senate and got the support. Guess what? We got that into place, and the Senate was actually, that was completely involved. Actually, this center, this academic success center was highlighted by American Association's daily, which is a daily publication. We call it CC Daily, every day, in its issue in January 2018. So we are very proud. This can be a potential conflict, but we were able to work together to get this result and benefit our student. Thank you.
Thank you. Please join me in thanking Dr. Hsieh.
Thank you.